So we are live now. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Comic Convos. This is episode 4. Today I've got on from Comic Collectibles, basically, Dynamite, Dynamic Forces. We've got Rex Wang and Nick Barrucci.
Hey
So
guys.
thank you guys for coming on today. And
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Oh, of course. I love talking comics with you guys. You got your own stuff that we've been doing together. You have your art show tonight. So for everyone that is tuning in, this one's going to be it's going to be more of a shorter one. She usually goes for about an hour. Tonight's going to go for about 25, 30 minutes. They have to prep for their art show right after. So make sure I've got the info down low for the experience. They're going to be doing all of their art stuff pretty much right after this. So tune into that, hit the subscribe button, and they've got some really cool stuff to go over for that as well. So how are you guys doing today?
Good, man. And I just want to tell the fans, this is all my fault for not thinking. I forgot the timing just got me screwed up. I want to thank AR for setting this up. As you guys all know, his channel rocks, and he couldn't do it without you. But I also know you appreciate everything he does. We're having a really good time with AR. For me personally, AR is just a great ambassador of comics, really gets a positive word out there. And we really appreciate you guys being a part of this. I mean, we couldn't do it without you. None of us could. And I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I want to thank AR for making this available. We gave AR some premium books to do as a giveaway to reward the fans. And hopefully we all get to grow together. And I'm going to do one thing. I already screwed up the timing. I'm going to turn my phone off before somebody calls while we're in the middle of this.
And we already got Dave Cerrone watching. Dave from Cali.
So Dave, what Nick was just talking about with the premium variants, guys, tune into my video. So I have 3 different variants that they gave. So it's going to be a first, second, and third place winner. Once we hit 7,000 subscribers on the channel, I'm going to start running that giveaway, but stay tuned for that. We're almost there. We're almost at 6,500. So a few hundred more, and then we can start running that giveaway. And then every top 10 list that I do every single Thursday, I usually pick, it's typically a new comic book day book, but this last week it was Thor 5, the first appearance of Black Winter. That's this week's giveaway book, so stay tuned for that. But how are you guys doing today?
And actually something Alec doesn't know yet, but it's going in the mail on Monday, is we just did a couple of covers with Tony Fleeks and Trish Faulkner of Stray Dogs.
No way.
Yep. So you've got Red Sonja here with Stray Dogs, and these were FOC covers, so they're a little bit rare. We're going to send a couple of these to AR so that you guys can be part of a new contest. I thought this would be a great time to announce it because we want to hook you guys up. Any little thing we could do, even any big thing we could do, we want to reward all the fans. Rex and I sit down and talk about the shows, talk about when we're going on AR's channel, and seeing what we can do to just keep everybody rewarded for being so great.
Well, I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to get everybody within the comic collectibles world together in a sense, and guys like AR, guys like Rock and Robbie.
I'm going to get the Virgin. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. We're all pushing in the same direction. We're all on the same team. So what we're trying to do is I think, if you're already watching AR's show, good for you. If this is your first time, definitely suggest checking into his channel regularly because he's going to drop some incredible comic knowledge on you. And from an informational standpoint, the content standpoint of his videos are awesome. But really, I think all of us, including AR, including Robbie, including ourselves, we're trying to recreate that local comic shop experience, if you will, bring like minds, people with like interests together so that we can chat about it.
And here's the book real quick. That's what
an incredible cover.
Yeah. No, we're really, really lucky. Tony and Trish obviously have knocked it out of the park. They have a fantastic series, and I'm so excited for them. And I just want to do a quick drop, everybody. Image is soliciting the new series in December, so pre-order right now. Let your local retailer know that you want it. And if you haven't tried it out yet, trust me, this is one of the best series out there. And like I said, we've had a long relationship with Tony, and he really honored us by doing a few covers. We started with Red Sonja, we've got Army of Darkness, and then we're going to do Vampirella 25. But as Rex was saying, it's all about keeping the community together, trying to get people to go more often to the comic store, support your local LCS, and let's grow the industry together.
Honestly, I'm like Stray Dogs. That one came out of nowhere to me. I picked it up, it was a little bit lighter of a week. But the solicitation, I'm almost positive it was Silence of the Lambs meets Lady and the Tramp. And I thought to myself, there's no way I can't like not pick this one up.
That's actually a really good analogy.
Yeah, it is.
And I started reading it, and the first issue, I was mind blown. I didn't know what to expect because, the whole perspective is from the dogs. And I thought, all right, this might be a little cheesy. It might not be that good. Hands down. So when I do my top 10 list of 2021 books, that is definitely on that list. And that's easily a contender for, honestly, could easily be number one. There's a few other really top ones out there, but I really enjoyed reading that series.
Wow.
If you guys haven't read it,
if you're vaulting it up to number one there.
Yeah, that is hands down one of the best things I've read so far this year. Fantastic.
Well, it was out of the blue. I mean,
it really was
really out of the blue. There's no chance you ever could have expected something like this,
No.
And there's so much hype on so many books, and just everything came together at the same time. The movie was optioned as people were getting the books, and people just started talking about it, and there was excitement, and it just exploded from there. It was 101 Dalmatians meet all the Silence of the Lamb movies together.
I'm sorry, AR's analogy is better.
It is.
Nice try, though, Nick.
No, I'm almost positive that's actually what it had in the previews as a solicitation. Because when I remember reading that, and I was like, wow, all right, we'll see.
Well, I think what's funny is that it goes to show that just because the publishers may hype something or hype a particular book, it's still the fans out there, the readers out there that make or break anything that comes out. And I think that's been true for the movies and everything else. So those fans out there, the readers out there, they're still critical. They're the ones that make or break a title.
Absolutely. And I think it really helped, just get it across because, people were reading it and it had no hype behind it as far as speculation. And people kind of looked at it like, oh, it's just going to be a series like this. I even had a couple of my friends text me, and when I was like really hyping it up in some of my videos, they would text me and say, are you seriously making me get Stray Dogs? Like, this looks so dumb. I was like, you really need to read this one for yourself. You're going to be really surprised. And it just, honestly, with each issue, it just kept getting better and better. And I was really satisfied on that finale too. I thought they did a great job wrapping it up. I think you, like you just said, they're going to be continuing on with it. The Stray Dogs Free Comic Book Day book, that was fantastic as well. It's just overall a top-notch series.
100% agreed. And, I've known Tony for a long time. We were one of the first people that were fortunate enough to work with him. We could see his talent early on, and he wouldn't be doing a new series if he didn't feel like he had the right story. He wouldn't be doing it as a cash grab. He's a very talented person. And even the next series is only 2 issues because that's the story he wants to tell. There are a lot of people that would be tempted to do a 6-issue story, really, really decompress it. But in his world, compression is better and giving more bang for your buck is better. And I couldn't be happier for him, and I couldn't be happier for Trish. I mean, Trish is a fantastic talent as well. She's done a lot of great work in the industry, and she's finally getting the recognition she deserves as well. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool.
Now we've got John Stout down here. Can't say it's the best, but definitely top 5. I may have jumped the gun a little bit. I might not get number 1, but hands down, he's correct. Hands down, top 5. And I think the one cool thing with that too is just the horror, the movie cover variants. Those just exploded. They're all, popular movies, just like cult horror movies that people love. They have Friday the 13th, The Shining, and then they just put the dogs in place of it. It's just such a unique concept and idea that I think that's another reason it exploded the way it did, because there's nothing on the market like it. A lot of people, they have, there's horror books, there's crime books, superhero stuff, but this is literally a story being told from the perspective of just dogs. And they can't communicate with anybody. They're not even showing human faces. It's just strictly dogs trying to survive and figure things out. It's so cool. Yeah,
I think it's surprising. I mean, in the sense that I don't think anybody saw the potential success there, but probably one of the biggest kind of videos that people TikTok, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, or whatever, Facebook, is usually people's pets. Okay. And, people sit there and they'll scroll down and they'll watch these videos of people's pets. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to tell it from the pet's perspective. It works, and it shouldn't be surprising, yet it is. So that's the interesting thing. But I mean, that's the creativity of what can come from comic books that has now evolved into a multi-billion-dollar business. Whether you're talking about MCU or DC or whatever, is there's so much source material. And now when you write a screenplay and you just try to get it sold, it's much more difficult, but it's probably easier if you have a good comic book idea. I think Blade proved that.
Yeah. We were just talking about that on Wednesday. Some of these smaller ones, it's just they really just caught on and really just paved the way. Like you said, Blade. No one really expected Blade to have that type of hype. And even at the time, I'm not sure it really did. But now people look back at it and it's like, Blade really started off pretty much everything for Marvel.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Blade allowed X-Men to happen. X-Men allowed Spider-Man. Spider-Man allowed everything else. Because if you look at the timeline, if I remember correctly, Blade was 1998. And so that triggered Fox interested in the X-Men, which was 2000. And then that triggered Sony doing Spider-Man in 2002. Then you got 2004 with the second Spider-Man movie. And then you've got Fox putting out the FF movie, the second X-Men. And by the time you get to 2008, Marvel did Iron Man. And it's funny, rumor has it, and we'll never know if it's true or not, Robert Downey Jr. was paid like $250,000 to be in Iron Man, and Marvel signed him up to a one-movie deal. And it was just far better than anything else that they could have expected. I mean, it just launched a franchise. And when you think about what Marvel had on the line, now it's like, oh, it was Marvel, right? When they started Marvel Studios, they actually leveraged the entire cast of the Avengers for the money to create the movies. So if the movies would have bombed, what they used as collateral was Iron Man, was Captain America, was Thor. So if those movies would have bombed, the bank with the credit line would have taken those characters away from Marvel. It's so crazy to think about now, but it's what they had to do it. They bet on themselves and they made it work. It was fantastic. So, and going with Rex, adding to what Rex said just now, when you think about it, Marvel's tied up with Disney. DC's tied up with Warner Brothers. Dark Horse, I think, has a deal at Universal. Boom is partially owned by Disney and Fox.
They've got Netflix stuff going on too.
Yep.
And not to cut that idea off, I just really want to say thank you to Preston Eskridge very quickly for the donation to the channel. And seriously, Stray Dogs does rule. Thank you again for that. I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No. Listen, you got to cut me off. The fans come first,
Absolutely.
know? And everybody, listen, we all, whether you're watching this live now or you're watching it later because you couldn't watch it live, please hit that thumbs up for AR. He puts together great shows. He puts his heart and soul into all of them. And I know he wants to start to do a few more shows, and he can only do it with your support. And you're watching it because you love what he brings to you. So thumbs up and share, because I always say this: sharing is caring. And it helps him get to a larger audience. It helps his algorithm. And from a very, very, very selfish point of view, the quicker he gets to 7,000, the quicker he can give you someone or a few someones a $50 premium book.
And for everyone that is in here right now, because he's talking about the live streams, for the month of October, I have the whole month of October as far as Thursdays go. Every Thursday is now booked with a content creator. I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice.
Just off the top of my head, I've got Andrea Molinari, the head editor from Scout Comics. He's going to be coming on. We've got Chancellor Poole from Whatnot. He's also going to be coming on. And I've got it written right there. We also have Nerd King. If you guys follow him on Instagram, he's got a lot of cool TikToks that he makes. He's really trying to get into the YouTube game as well, but he puts out fantastic stuff. And the final person is I can't see it off the top of my head, but like I said, all the Thursdays are booked. Tonight I'm going to be on Comic Book Canon as well on 9 o'clock EST. So stay tuned for that too. And like I said, these guys, The Experience, they're going to be going live right after this as well. They've got a ton of awesome original artwork to be showing off. So just a lot of stuff to look forward to between, me doing things with Dynamite and just a lot of good stuff coming to the channel.
No, that's the fun stuff. And I think you're setting up with Cullen Bunn soon, right? You're setting up with him?
Yes. I was in your email chain. I didn't want to just, kind of keep emailing right there. I wasn't sure if he was going to email me, but I sent him a personal email as well. So waiting to hear back. We'll be finalizing that for Friday. And then after that, pretty much only have 2 Fridays left open. But the game plan is to basically start doing these live streams every Thursday and every Friday. So just to keep some cool content going for you guys.
Well, you have amazing content. I mean, your videos knowledgeable, and now you're expanding to bring creators on and people, involved in the industry. And as I said, the whole point is to grow the comic reading, population, not just the ones that go to the movies and watch the movies. I think that they need to understand where the content, the source content, is really coming from.
And I've got a breaking announcement for AR, and more importantly for the fans. Actually, for 7,000 people, we're going to mail AR a page of original artwork to give away as well, because you're helping us to promote the art shows. So it'll be a nice, either it'll be X-Men or Ultimate X-Men. So, and no Tom Cruise reference this show.
Please.
Only because we brought up X-Men. Where's John? We were talking about how his favorite was Wolverine the other day.
Cruise. The only thing is Tom Cruise doesn't know about it.
And he never wants to. Running joke, because I named 2 Tom Cruise situations before, where he was supposed to be Iron Man at one point and just liked Jack Reacher a lot. And we were talking about how the sequel really, even though I liked the sequel, very few people watched it, and the title was Never Go Back. So, but anyway, real quick, I'm going to show you some art that we're going to have tonight. We have artwork by Jim Aparo, Brave and the Bold, with the Metal Men. We will have, Amy, bring me the rest of the art, please. We will have Tim Sale Grendel, and you see all the hype around Grendel with the Netflix series.
Oh, yeah.
We have Earth's End by Cully Hamner. We will have Hordak by Keith Giffen. Thanos page with Pip the Troll, and the rumor is Pip the Troll will be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy. This is by Jim Starlin. We are also going to have Power of Shazam by Jerry Ordway and Dick Giordano. And we will have Green Lantern by Mark Bright. And we will have Adventures. Jesus, I got to do better at this. By Kieran Dwyer.
You, sir, are no Vanna White.
Yeah, right? Thank God. Thank God you made that comparison. War of Kings and some David Finch. And to cap it off, we are going to have original art by Alex Ross in tonight's show at 7 p.m. It's on The Experience. And as AR said, the link is there. But remember, when he hits 7,000 subs, not only does he have 3 premium books at $50 each, but he's also getting original artwork to give away. So we really wanted to reward him and you for supporting us and allowing us to promote the shows that he's on, and also allowing us to promote the original art show that every Friday at 7. And I want to point out one other thing. AR is coming on our Wednesday shows. On Wednesday, we will have a Flash 123, and we will have a Captain America 100.
Wow.
And we're also going to have, because we keep talking about the X-Men and we can't talk enough about the X-Men, we're going to have a few DF covers of X-Men on the show. And they're going to be $30 covers, but in honor of AR being there, they're going to be $10 each. So those are going to be our blockbuster items of the night on Wednesday. $30 X-Men books at $10. But I will tell you right now, usually what do? We bring like 1 to 3 units of each. Yeah, we keep it really limited. Yeah. We can't afford to bring a lot at this price. So make sure you're there, because if you see a book you like, you really will want to jump on it. And maybe we'll do something really crazy. Maybe we'll do a CGC graded book at 1992, the year DF started.
Well, what you should do is eat one of your meatless sandwiches. That usually gets you a little loopy.
That's what
the prices start to go down.
How do you think I went to 1992 for a $90 book?
I knew it was your veggie sandwich. You see,
there will be one
animal protein.
There will be
animal protein.
One CGC. Do you know how much protein costs these days? Freaking
a lot.
Bacon is up like 70%. It's crazy.
Like you go to the grocery store and buy bacon. That's ham. Don't lie.
Yeah, but she complains to me.
You go to Rastelli's and you pick up a sandwich.
I was gonna say, you guys are in Jersey. You guys do ham, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ham's Jersey.
Canadian ham.
No, you're talking about pork roll or Taylor ham,
which yes. I will never do. I will never, ever, ever do. I will do turkey bacon, but I won't do the pork roll.
No pork roll.
Just ham.
Yeah, but then you put it on bread. It's like no.
It's a ham sandwich. I mean,
bacon, pure bacon.
I can see the
we got a question for you, Nick and Rex.
Well, I will throw out one other thing, and then we should get back to the comics. I will throw out one other little thing. I went out to dinner with a few friends. We went to a steak place, and I was really tempted to get some bacon. And I was like, you know what? The three of us are getting a steak for $4. I guess this is what happens when you eat veggie sandwiches all the time. When you finally get to eat some steak, you're like, oh my God, this is great. For dessert, I had the bacon.
Well, here's the thing. I think Lucy Press said,
yeah, I'll put it back up.
Can Canadians get in on it? So
yes.
What do you call Canadian bacon when you go to Canada?
Wait, is she talking about the bacon, or is she talking about
I don't know.
discount?
I'm still on the bacon.
Are you talking about the comics or the bacon?
This popped up when you were talking comics.
Bacon, I think, right?
Rex, you always got food on your mind.
Canadian bacon. But here we call it, if you're in South Jersey, we call it the pork roll.
Yeah.
And if you're in North Jersey, they call it Taylor ham.
It makes me think of one thing. Did you ever see the movie Now You See Me? There was Now You See Me and then the sequel. In the sequel, they like slide down the thing and, they don't realize they were knocked out. And then they wake up as they're sliding down and they don't know where they're at. And they think that they're like, hey, we're at a restaurant. And it looks like we're in the Chinese area. It's Chinese food. And Woody Harrelson goes, I don't think they call it Chinese food here. I think they just call it food because they got sent to China. So it's, yes. So in Canada, Canadian bacon. But did she clarify? Is she talking about the bacon or is she talking about the discounts that we're doing?
I'm pretty positive that popped up when we were talking about the comics still.
Then yes, you will be able to be a part of it. The bacon, just buy it yourself.
Yeah, the bacon. I don't know what you guys call ham in Canada. So I leave that to you.
So if you don't do pork roll or anything, do you do scrapple?
Oh, I love scrapple.
Oh, yes, that's because you're from the area.
I love scrapple.
Scrapple's legit.
I could eat that all day long.
To me, scrapple's like White Castle.
I love White Castle too.
I have to have a few drinks in me. If I ever eat Scrapple or White Castle without a few drinks, it is not the same.
Well, White Castle brings me back to my youth, and Scrapple is a very uniquely Northeast thing.
Yes.
You'd have a hard time finding it anywhere else.
I haven't seen it since living out here, so.
No, when you come back, man, we're going to grab some grub and we'll bring you all the Scrapple you want.
I will definitely come. I'll definitely come out to Jersey.
Exactly. Everybody else, just Google it if you're not aware. But hey, anybody who has questions, let us know. But real quick, we do have other books that'll be on Wednesday. We have the CGC graded Connecting Covers to One More Day, which as a multiverse movie with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man is happening.
It's coming.
It'll be more timely. And next Wednesday, October 6th, in stores will be Jennifer Blood #1 and Red Sonja #2. And like I said, there will be the rare covers that a few retailers will have participated in for the Mirka and Dolfo series. And, but AR will have a set to give away for free. And I think AR enjoyed Red Sonja #2. I'll say this, Red Sonja #1 sold out.
It was fantastic.
It hit stores. And Jennifer Blood #1 is almost sold out, so definitely reserve it from your retailer.
And Dave jumped in about the Carla Cohen.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Dave says Carla Cohen revealed her new Red Sonja cover today, and it is hot. And I agree, Dave.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I know you said we're going to try to keep this one for 25 to 30 minutes. Before we kind of wrap this up, because I know you guys got to get your next live stream going, I wanted to bring up next Wednesday, because our next live stream will be on Wednesday before on New Comic Book Day. So I want to talk about those books super quick. So Jennifer Blood issue #1 is coming out. It's going to be a brand new series from Dynamite. And I know I saw one of the covers over there. So I wanted to see if you would talk about that one for a little bit. And we've already hyped up Red Sonja, the new series from Mirka and Dolfo. I mean, I've talked about it on my channel. We talked about it last Wednesday on the Experience live stream. It was really fantastic. But Jennifer Blood, for people who don't know, what is this new series going to be about, or who is this character?
Well, I really don't want. I'll talk about the character. I won't talk about what the new series is about.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah, that's a different show.
And Fred Van Lente just really killed it with this series. No pun intended. We're talking about Jennifer Blood, but basically, her family was killed. Her family was in the mafia, and her family was killed by her uncles and other people in her family. So Jennifer Blood is a housewife by day and a killing machine at night. I mean, literally, like if you're her, there were scenes where to make sure her family goes to sleep before she goes out, she would drug them to go to bed. Like her husband, her 2 kids, just make sure they're asleep. The first series was written by Garth Ennis. Garth helped co-create Jennifer Blood and launched it. So the first graphic novel is by one of the best and most intense writers in our industry. And then the series continued with Al Ewing before he signed his Marvel exclusive. And I think he wrote like 30 issues of Jennifer Blood. And now we have Fred Van Lente, who, again, no pun intended, is killing it on Dynamite, our zombie crossover, and is now going to be killing it with Jennifer Blood. I will show a few pages because I want to show how beautiful the art is.
Awesome.
And
and John Stout has jumped in and said he'll check it out. He loves her art, and I don't think you'll be disappointed, John.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope my LCS carries it, though. A lot of my LCSs out here, they don't have a lot of indie titles. So if I don't pre-order it, or I mean, even then, it's, they don't always get a lot of them.
How's that for a 3rd page opening scene, huh?
I mean, I'm pumped for it. I saw that new series from Dynamite. Why would I not do it? So the one thing about that series is it going to be a limited series? Do you plan on making that an ongoing?
Right now, the goal is that it will be ongoing. It's doing well, so we're really happy. The market just keeps changing, so we do our best. And I'll stop here because otherwise it'll start being too much of spoiler. So, but yeah, it's really, really exciting. We're really blessed that we get to work with such talented people, and hopefully it'll continue. We've had some really good success with a lot of our series of late. Invincible Red Sonja was initially 6 issues and then it expanded to be ongoing. Mirka and Dolfo's Red Sonja was going to be a 5-issue series, and now it's expanded. Excellent. And Jennifer Blood, we feel like it should become ongoing. And, there are some series that we launch where the creative force behind it can only do so much. So like Army of Darkness 1979 with Rodney Barnes is a 5-issue series, and Rodney is just so busy. We're just really happy we got to work with him on those 5 issues. We're really happy we got to work with him on the 6-issue series on James Bond. And we have one other project we'll be announcing over the next month or so. And we're really just blessed. And again, this is why when we get to team up with a great influencer like AR, who I say this all the time, is a fantastic ambassador of comics, always has positive outlook, always wants to talk about the great stuff of comics. There's enough negativity out there that being a positive force is fantastic. Our industry is the purest form of entertainment in the world, as far as I'm concerned. You know, the most control in any story is with prose authors, because they're writing a novel soup to nuts, but it leaves a lot to the imagination of the reader. And movies just have a lot of voices in them. Comics is the perfect blend. You've got the story and the visual, and the budget is limitless. It's limited to the imagination of the writer and the artist. So, this is so great. And again, and the way I found AR, which is why I want everybody to hit that thumbs up and to share, the way I found AR was just, his algorithm was picking up. I'll do a search for YouTubers and just see who's doing comics, find new ones. And, I came across his channel, watched it for a few weeks, because, you never want to watch just one or two. You want to catch it and watch them as they drop, just to see the direction someone's going in. And I was just really impressed, which is why I reached out to him and just, I just wanted to rock it out, and we're really fortunate. So,
and I really appreciate all that. All the kind words. I always appreciate it.
You've earned it.
Thank you. We do have a question for you, though, from Dave, the Library Kid. Says, question for Nick. What's the number one thing that helps you keep long relationships with these great creators?
Honesty. I will combine honesty and actually caring. I care about the creators. I care about the fans. I care about the retailers. I care about the employees. And I care about the books and the rights holders and everybody. And just being honest with people, being honest if something's going to work, if you feel like it's not going to work, if you made a mistake, take it on the chin. We do a lot of things here, and, we don't get everything right. Nobody does. And sometimes even honesty will blow up in your face.
Well, let me interject here. I think one thing that Nick is kind of alluding to, but not quite getting there, is I think that when you do something, and clearly I can say this, I've known Nick a really, really long time. I won't say how long, because then that'll date me.
Probably longer than AR.
Yeah, it's longer than AR's been on the planet.
Exactly.
That's exactly why
we'll leave it at that.
But I think that those that deal with Nick, they can see that the love that he has for the industry. So he does what he loves, and that comes across. And it comes across creators, and and not to bash Marvel or DC or whatever, but there's such Goliaths in terms of publishing that I'm sure the creators will run across in the same situation that you do with any big corporation. Just you don't really care about this. It's just a paycheck at the end of the day. Whatever it is.
They have, and even the people at Marvel or DC just have a lot of masters. They got to make sure Warner Brothers or Disney is happy with what they're doing. Yeah. They have a tougher balance. I mean, that's one of the pluses not being owned by a corporation. We can make decisions that we don't have to necessarily worry about the short term. We can make decisions for the long term. We've been able to launch books and push books back until they were ready, and not just release them and just to release them. And I think I can honestly say that I do have a lot of passion for this industry. I've said multiple times, for me, my life is family, friends, and comics. And Dave, I've been doing this since I was 13 years old, and I have not known Rex since I was 13.
What year was that, Nick?
It was actually during the Spanish flu. So I went from the Spanish flu to COVID.
So you've been hanging out with John a really long time.
Exactly. So no, I mean, 1982, 1983, I started selling comics at conventions, and pretty much almost the entire time from then till now, that's all I've done. And I love this industry, and I love comics. And I'll on another stream, we'll talk about this. I actually never wanted to be a publisher. I'm the only publisher in comics that never had the desire to be a publisher. because it's a lot of work and it is very hard. It is very, very, very hard. And we'll talk about it in the future stream, but and I think the one thing we should tell everybody is we're moving the Dynamite Dynamic Forces streams to Tuesdays now.
Yes. I wanted to bring that up as well, but I was going to wait until we kind of solidified it. So these Friday ones that we've been doing, it's going to be on Tuesday from now on. So basically, like I was talking about earlier in the stream, I'll be able to do all Thursdays and then try to book someone for Friday as well. So basically, we're going to be doing roughly 3 live streams on this channel, 2 to 3 a week typically. So I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I love having you guys on. It's always a good time to talk. It's pretty much like we do our Wednesday, and then now it's a nice continuation to everything that we couldn't get to on the Wednesday one. But now it's going to be Tuesday. But it's always great talking with you guys. I can't wait to talk to some of the other, creators and, just comic book people in general. It's always good to just see someone else's perspective on things. And one thing that you were just talking about that I love that you said is that you can kind of have your own say where if you're not comfortable with the book going out yet, you can push the date a little bit, maybe a week, 2 weeks. You don't have to feel forced with something. And I talked about this in my video with just as pure example, because I love Stout and Ahmed on Miles Morales. It's a phenomenal series. He's a fantastic writer. But that last issue, it had nothing to do with anything. It was a straight filler issue. It was just Miles kind of in New York getting ready for his date night with Starling. And then there was these 2 little mini stories, maybe 3, that followed up at the end of it. And it's just like, I wait so long for Miles and I want to have a really nice story. And then I flip through it. I read it in, I don't know, maybe 2 whole breaths because all it was just a couple action panels and him, swinging through New York. Felt like I kind of wasted my money. Oh. Like I said, I love Stout and Ahmed on him, but you could kind of tell that, Marvel just has this, like, you need the book out. It needs to be out. So just put it out. That's how it kind of felt.
And that happens, and every once in a while, maybe the creator just sees something one way and it just ends up going a different way. So, I mean, look, we all do our best and every creator tries to put out their best, but yeah, we'll never know why that happened. It could have been a creative decision. It could have been a fiscal decision about getting it out. The good thing is I always look on the positive. The good thing is that you had a long run that you loved, and that one issue does not define that run.
See, and that's how I feel about it. And that's why I don't really feel bad talking, about that issue the way that I am, because I always talk highly of it. It truly is a phenomenal series. He's done justice to Miles Morales. I'm really happy to see that was direction that they've taken for that, like how he's handled that character. He introduced Starling to us, and she's going to be with us for the long haul. And that's why I kind of feel the same way. Like the issue wasn't a real waste because you saw them kind of, make their relationship a little bit better. But he really brought Miles to life. I feel like it's a phenomenal series.
No, he gave it a definition. I mean, the 2, there's probably 3 defining creators on Miles Morales as far as I would say writers, and obviously Brian Michael Bendis, Samanad, and Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse really, really just gave Miles a lot of attention. And by the way, I want to close this with one thing. The goal of the experience, and hopefully people will tune in tonight at 7, and hopefully people will tune in next Wednesday at 6. The goal of the experience is to grow the comic industry. The goal of AR is to grow the comics industry, And I will say this, it's a little bit forward. Only do it if you can. Hit him up with likes. You got to get those thumbs up for him and share. If you can just do those 2 things, that's great. And if you ever have the opportunity to super chat or super sticker him, please do. Again, this is what allows him to make this his focus. And Scrapple's going up in price. So when he comes back to South Jersey, we got to make sure he can afford it.
Actually, Scrapple is not going up in price. Just making that point.
They're just putting less in there.
A little more filler. It's Scrapple. Okay. And the name of Scrapple comes from the scraps that are left over. That's why it's called Scrapple. There you go. There's my Scrapple education for the week.
If you've got time for one final question.
Sure.
Someone just asked this one. As a Conan fan, could you ask how is Red Sonja on Dynamite when Roy Thomas created her at Marvel? Is there a story behind it?
Sure, it's real simple. So what happened is a gentleman by the name of Arthur Lieberman, one of the greatest people I've ever met. He really, really was a star, and he was also Stan Lee's attorney. Robert E. Howard in the 70s or the 60s, I can't remember when, it was a mess, and what he did was he went and put Humpty Dumpty back together again. He negotiated the Marvel deal. He negotiated the Dark Horse deal. Unfortunately, Arthur passed away a number of years ago, and we had a really nice tribute to him in our comics. But he put Humpty Dumpty back together again, and the deal that he set up was that all the Robert E. Howard characters that Robert E. Howard created stayed together. But since Red Sonja was by Roy Thomas and was a new character, he got to keep Red Sonja. And, the plus about all of this is we've had some great crossovers with Dark Horse. We had the Gail Simone crossover. We had the Jim Zub crossover. And, there are always great stories to tell. And we're very fortunate. I think at this point, we've published as many Red Sonja stories as there have been Conan stories. At least we're narrowing the gap. We're narrowing the gap that was there. That's really, it's pretty short and sweet. Just that's the way the deal came together. And we've been very fortunate, and we're part of the Red Sonja movie because we've done a great job. And hopefully I'm not being too forward there. I'm just really proud of all the work everybody put into this and how great the movie is coming together. It's kind of like The Boys. The Red Sonja movie's been 12 years in the making. Hopefully it'll happen soon. The Boys was an 11-year overnight success. So all these things take time. But that's why we have Red Sonja and Marvel has Conan. Just that's the way the rights were separated.
Well, luckily our buddy John isn't here. Otherwise, we'd be talking about Green Hornet. Somehow he always manages to segue back to that.
I know he wants to call it. He wants to do Green Sonja and Red Hornet.
That's what they said last time.
Wait,
that's what he wants.
On the door.
I thought we put the. We love John. We love John. He's the best. He keeps us knowledgeable. Everything we don't know, he knows. Although for some reason he's not as crazy about our Red Sonja. I don't know why. No, I'm kidding. But I tell you what, the other story I'll tell next time, besides the fact that I never wanted to be a publisher, I'll give you guys my Lone Ranger story. That one is a hoot.
I'll hold you to it.
Tuesday night.
Night. Yeah. We'll get that set up. I'm looking forward to it. But I know you guys have your art show tonight. You guys went well over the time that you said, so I really do appreciate it. Everyone in here right now, I'm sure they appreciate it as well. So thank you, everyone that was watching. And thank you, Preston, for the sticker or whatever that is, the donation. I really do appreciate that too. And as always, thank you, Nick and Rex. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. It really is.
Thank you, AR. The feeling is mutual.
Absolutely. And John and I will see you Wednesday.
Awesome. And make sure everybody go check them out on the experience after this. Like they were talking about, they have awesome artwork that's going to be going up, and that's 7 p.m. EST.
Yep.
So
and
right after this,
a few remarks that we didn't show here, so it'll be exciting time.
The Ken Hazer ones.
Yep.
You bet.
You guys got tuned in for that. The Ken Hazer artwork has been phenomenal. So as always, thank you, everybody. Until next time, have a good night.
See you guys Tuesday. Hopefully tonight. Take care, everybody.
See ya.